welcome back to Onyx Pages. It is Njeri, and I have a bunch of books that I have read in the past couple of weeks that I wanted to tell you about, and they're all stacked over here. So I'm going to start with a review of Power and Magic, the Queer Witch Comics Anthology. And I found out about this book through Chloe over at Thistle and Verse. So Power and Magic is described as follows. So for countless people across the world, the witch symbolizes feminine force and nonconformity. Power and Magic collects 15 original comics about queer witches of color as they master their abilities, uncover their traditions, and navigate love as beings with incredible power. From the euphoria of holding the stars in your grasp to the sacrifices we make to reach them, the Queer Witch Comics Anthology explores what it means to be a person of power in all its complexity. Featuring the work of 17 women, demigirls, and bi-gender creators of color, Power and Magic presents an experience as rich and diverse as womanhood itself. This was published by Power and Magic Press in, what year was this published? I want to say 2020, but I could be wrong. I don't know that I'm going to get that information quickly. Oh, yes, I will. 2017 was the first edition, and the second printing was 2020. I'm not going to use a 7 cowrie shell review for this. I'll just tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and if I recommend this. So first of all, what I liked. I loved the cover. It was rich, full of color. The lettering is embossed, and I thought it was really beautiful. The cover is what attracted me to this when I found out about this through Chloe's channel. And I also like that everybody, like all of the main characters, I believe they're majority people of color. Every story deals with a various kind of like different kinds of witchcraft, different kinds of magic. So there's like cauldron magic, and there's like elemental magic. There's magic that comes from the practice of Ifa. There's like, I think there is a bruja in here, a couple of brujas in here. And then like magic, just the magic of being queer, and cooking magic. So lots of different kinds of magic. So I really, really liked that. I liked the softness of the stories, as Adri would say, like there's a lot of sweetness. There's like sweet friendships, sweet crushes, sweet romances, and like friendships and alliances and things like that. So I really enjoyed that. I liked that the stories were short, so if I wasn't really feeling one story, I could just go to the next one. Sometimes graphic stories can be a little bit long if I'm not really invested in the world or I don't really like the world. And I would say that most of the stories in this collection I enjoyed. There were a few that I didn't understand, and there were two, and that's where it becomes a problem that they're so brief, because I didn't understand them and then they would be over. So they didn't really leave much of a lasting effect or imprint on me. But for the stories that I really liked, I wanted them to be longer. So it is a bit of a pro and con, plus and minus for the length of the stories. And then I also liked that they were cute and fun and not super serious. Like a couple of the stories left me thinking about things. All of the stories have to do with relationships in some way. So that's what I liked about this collection. What I didn't love about the collection is that it is black and white. So I don't know that I knew this, but I would have bought it anyway. So the illustrations. Oh, I also like the variety of illustrations and types of artists, because each story was illustrated by a different artist, I think. So some of the art was very like soft and luscious like that. And then you might have like something that's a little bit more etchy, and then a bit of a combination of the two. So there were like a lot of different styles of drawing and stuff. So I definitely like that. Like this is a very different style. So I got to explore different illustrators. So what I didn't love about it is that it was black and white, and it's I find it sometimes difficult to read a lot of black and white images. Because I love color. I love color. So so there's that. And also, like, you know, in a book where the characters are people of color, it's nice to have more than shades of gray for their skin, right? So I would have loved to see the color and the richness of the characters, and also it would have probably helped me identify with some of the characters over others, because sometimes when you have black and white, like, the race of the characters can be a little bit ambiguous. So I didn't love that, yeah, I guess that's the only thing I really didn't like about the collection. There's another collection, so there's a second volume of this, so I'm looking forward to reading the second volume. And I would recommend this to you if you're interested in different depictions of witchcraft. If you are, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I liked about this. I like that there's a lot of gender diversity and sexual orientation diversity in this collection. I also like that there's one story that that has like no words at all, and the characters are nonverbal, and that's the first time that I've seen sequential art with nonverbal characters. I will probably need to read that story over, because honestly it was difficult to follow for me, and that was good. That stretched me, so I appreciated that. And then there is diversity in terms of body size, depictions of like conventional attractiveness and all of that kind of stuff. You can tell that the illustrators and the writers of these stories were being very mindful about the variety of people within queer, Indigenous, and people of color communities. So I did very much appreciate that. If you're looking for a sweet read, perhaps something that you can read in between longer works or between like more word text-based works, then I would recommend this collection. It's also independently produced, and you know, independent works tend to be more edgy. They tend to be more creative. They tend to be closer to what the artists and what the writers really want, because they don't have to navigate the same kind of publishing whirlpool that can sometimes happen when you're published by some of the bigger works. My hope is that future volumes of this will be in color, so that we can really, really get into the richness and experience that texture. But that said, I do recommend Power and Magic, the Queer Witch Comics Anthology. I didn't tell you who's involved in putting this together besides it doesn't even look like there is one person who edited it. Let me just make sure that that's correct. It was edited by Joamette Gil, and this color illustration is by Ashe Samuels, and the book design is also by Joamette Gil. And then I'll just read out all of the writers. So we've got Gemma Salome, Coco Candelario, Nevedita Sakar, Ariane Hokoki, Veronica Agarwal, Anne Zhu, Maria Lawrence and Devaki Niogi, Vexingly Yours, Feedback, Natasha L. Barredo, Gabrielle Robinson and Hannah Lazart, Joamette Gil, Juliet GMM Lopez, Atmaja Pandya, and Naomi Frankis. So and another really cool thing is that the table of contents actually has content warnings and trigger warnings, which I thought was really, really responsible. So if you are concerned about content that could be traumatizing for you, you can just run down the table of contents and just see some of the content warnings and decide whether you want to skip this story. And this is the first time that I've seen this practice in a table of contents, and I would commend this format to short story and anthology editors in the future, because I found that it really worked. So that is it. if you have watched this video all the way to the end, I would ask that you, I would ask for you to include in your comment something gold, because I'm just attracted to all the gold. You know what? Something gold and something purple. So, or any color combination that matches this book. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Now, who would I like to shout out? I would like to shout out Liselle Sambury. Liselle Sambury is a writer. She lives here in Toronto. She's a Trinidadian Canadian writer, and she is coming out with her debut novel. It's a YA novel called Blood Like Magic. It comes out in June, and I met Liselle at BookNet Fest several years ago, and we also had like a really cool adventure in Toronto with Zoe from Zoe's All Booked, and Minimal Bookie Paige from Minimal Bookie. I just remember people's channels' names and not really their human in real life names. And we had such a wonderful time, and I had the pleasure of actually sitting beside Liselle while she was doing her edits for this particular book. So the main character is a Black either young adult living in Toronto, and she's a witch, and we find out about her magic. And I live in Toronto, and I'm Black. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm a diaspora Caribbean, and I also practice the craft. And so it's so cool to, it's just really cool to read a story with a protagonist that's may or may not be close to my own identity. And I'm so proud of Liselle for the book. And you know what? It's right up over there. Tommy, can you pass me that book, please? I just figure since I've talked about it, I might as well show you. It's just above the yellow envelope. I didn't expect to talk about it, or else I would have lied before, but thank you, I appreciate it. This is the gorgeous cover, okay? Blood Like Magic. I got an advanced reader's copy from Simon & Schuster. It was published by McElderry Books, which I think is an imprint of Simon & Schuster. But you know my colors, so you know that I love these colors, and I am proud of Liselle. And yeah, you can go and follow her and be part of the coven if you would like. Let me just read the back. After 4 years of waiting for her calling, a trial every witch must pass in order to come into their powers, the one thing Voya Thomas didn't expect was to fail. When Voya's ancestor gives her an unprecedented second chance to complete her calling, she agrees, and then is horrified when her task is to kill her first love. And this time, failure means every Thomas witch will be stripped of their magic. Voya is determined to save her family's magic no matter the cost. The problem is Voya has never been in love, so for her to succeed, she'll first have to find the perfect guy, and fast. Fortunately, a genetic matchmaking program has just hit the market. Her plan is to join the program, fall in love, and complete her task before the deadline. What she doesn't count on is being paired with the infuriating Luke. How can she fall in love with a guy who seemingly wants nothing to do with her? With mounting pressure from her family, Voya is caught between her morality and her duty to her bloodline. If she wants to save their heritage and Luke, she'll have to find something her ancestor wants more than blood. And in witchcraft, blood is everything. So I am looking forward to this. I will say, like, I'm super attracted to the fact that Voya is going to be in relationship with an ancestor, and that there's a whole bunch of like transgenerational magic that's going to be going on here. So I love that. I hope that she chooses her family over the dude, because obvi. And yeah, so that's who I'm shouting out. Check out her channel. You can pre-order her book. I'll have details below. And that's it. Remember to read with purpose. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.